Good morning everyone. Myself Manjula, TTWRDC Women's Janagam, Department of Zoology. Today I am going to explain about the sericulture. So sericulture is an important agro-based industry. It is a small scale industry. Right now it is discussed very important because of less unemployment in India and also other countries. So sericulture meaning serikos is origin from the Greek word. The serikos is the meaning of silk and culture meaning. It is a English word. Culture meaning rearing. So rearing of silkworms. There is a ancient history is also there. Once upon a time, a Chinese tale of the discovery of the silk silk was by an innocent Empress Louise, the wife of Emperor. She was drinking tea under a tree when a silk cocoon fell into her tea and the hot tea loosened the long strands of silk as she picked it out and started to wrap the silk thread around her fingers. Slowly felt a warm sensation. When the silk ran out, she was a small larva. Then she realized that this caterpillar larva was the source of the silk. She taught this to the people and it became widespread all over the country. The sericulture or silkworm is the cultivation of silk to produce silk. It is first been observed in the China. After that, as soon as it is widely spread to the other countries also, like Brazil, China, France, India, Japan, and Korea, Russia. So China is the outermost first position in worldwide. The India is the credit goes to second position. Silk has been under the use of human beings for various purposes since ancient times. Pure silk is the one of the finest silk, a beautiful pattern of fabrications. So Indian tradition also the wearing the saris with the silk. This is the silk is also called the queen of fibers. The queen of fibers in textile industry. There are the various types of silks are there, especially the types of silkworms are two types. One is mulberry silk and other one is the non-mulberry silks. The mulberry silkworms are Bombyx mori, which feeds on the mulberry leaves. The mulberry silkworm, the Bombyx mori, it is the superior quality to the other silkworms. Nearly 95% of the silk production is regarding the mulberry silkworms. So it is looking like shining and creamy white in color. The leaves on the mulberry leaves, it is secreted from the caterpillar of the Bombyx mori. And next is the tussar silk. It is the non-mulberry silkworm. So it is secreted from the caterpillars of the Antheria millita, Antheria rayoli, Antheria fapia. This is coppery in color. They feed on leaves of oak like sal. And next one is the airy silk produced by caterpillars of the resiny. It lives on the castor leaves. Color is creamy white but less shiny when we compare to the mulberry silk. And next one is the Munga silk. So it is obtained from the caterpillars of the Antheria asam. It feeds on the castor leaves. So it is feed on the som tree and the color is always yellowish golden. So the Munga silk is the color is yellowish golden. And The other non-mulberry silkworms are there. So the Indian non-mulberry silkworms are eri, muga, tussar, and mulberry silkworms are bombyx mori. So these are the wild varieties in India. We can cultivate different states in our India. Next we will discuss about the life cycle of silkworm. In sericulture industry, the life cycle of silkworm is very important to analyze the life cycle of silkworm. What are the stages in that one? So we can discuss about one by one. So the life cycle of silkworm is during the time about the less time about 45 days. There are the sexes are separate in bombyx mori. We can take the life cycle of bombyx mori. So the bombyx mori life cycle is duration about the 45 days. The male female mass sexes are separate. The fertilization is internal. The fertilization is carried out in the internal only. So the female moth are large when we compare to the male bombyx mori. After copulation, the male will go to die. The female moth after copulation lays the eggs. The life cycle of silkworms involved 4 stages, that is egg, larva, pupa, adult. The silkworm is holomotabolous insect. The complete metamorphosis going in this bombyx mori, that is egg, larva, pupa, adult. Right? So we can discuss about the egg stage. After copulation, the silk moth, female silk moth lays about the 400 eggs on the mulberry leaves. The eggs are very sticky in nature. They attach to the substratum. They look like oval in shape. This egg size is about the ink dot in size. The eggs are ink dot inside. The egg has a protective covering. There are the three membranes, that are the outer membrane is called chorion and middle serosa and inner vitellin. The egg is covered by the 3 membranes, the outer chorion, middle serosa and inner vitellin membrane. The outermost layer is the chorion is the protective covering of the egg. At the anterior side of the egg has one opening called micropyle. It has the 3 micropylar canals. The eggs regarding the centrolicital. The eggs are centrolicital. The yolk sac is located in the central region, so the eggs are centrolicital. So the egg is duration about the taking time 9 to 12 days. The duration of egg is 9 to 12 days. And then egg hatched to the larva. The next stage is the larva. The eggs hatches out into larva. The larva consists of 20 to 24 days, nearly 1 month, 20 to 24 days. So the larva have 3 parts, that is head, thorax and abdomen. The head is hypognathous. So the mouth is ventral in position. So the head is hypognathous. The head bears the sense organ as well as the mouth parts. The sense organs are the eyes and also antennae, and the mouth parts are regarding biting chewing type. The mouth parts of bombyx mori is biting chewing type, and also they have the contain labrum, labium, mandible, maxillae, like that. So the thorax is there. The thorax have true legs. They are not using for the purpose of walking, but they are using for the holding the mulberry trees. Right? The thorax has true legs. They are not used for the walking purpose. They are using for the catch the mulberry, holding the mulberry leaves. And next one is abdomen. So the abdomen is the last part of the larval stage. There are the pseudo legs are there. So the larva, it undergoes the process of molting. So the process of molting is called the instar larvas. There are the 5 instars in the larva of Bombyx mori. So it look like the black ant. So the color is larva is black in color. So we are called the black ant. The larva undergoes to molting process. The molting process is called instars. There are the 5 instars in the Bombyx mori. First instar, second instar, and third instar, fourth instar, fifth instar. So they in this period they have to formation the bristles and nodules and antennules and other the visceral parts of the larva. So the larval parts are clearly seen observed in this stage only. So the larva is phytophagous. The instar period they can completely formation of their visual organs at the particular temperature and particular timing. So first instar taking the 3 to 4 days and takes the 27 degrees centigrade, and second instar taking about 2 to 3 days at 26 degree centigrade, like that. The every instar larva needs to the particular temperature and the duration. And the fifth instar larva is 10 centimeter in length, consists of 3 parts, like that. Already we discussed about this one. So the abdomen consists of 11 segments. The larva next to go to the next stage, that is pupa. The pupa is very very important in life cycle of silkworm. When we harvesting of sericulture, the cocoons are very important. The pupa is nothing but the cocoon stage. We can cut the cocoons, after then only we can clearly see in the pupa stage. And the cocoon stage taking time for the 10 to 12 days, and pupa lives inside the cocoon. Then only we get the cocoon, and we can clearly see in the larval stage. After we can't see. So cocoon is formed as a result of the spinning of silk by the fifth instar larva. After completion of fifth instar larva, they can spin the cocoons. If we take the particular place like bamboo or chandrika, they can spin to their own cocoons. So pupa is covered by cuticle. It is brown in color. The adult organ produced in this stage, and larval forms are disappeared, and adult forms are can be uh, the adult forms are can be differentiated in this stage only. The adult stage is the last stage of the life cycle of Bombyx mori. So the adult emerges from the pupa. The adult life lasts for the 3 to 5 days. They do not fade. And one of the point is when we the Bombyx mori eat the mulberry leaves, the larva stage is the voracious feeder. The larva stage only, the voracious feeder. It is more eating in the larval stage only. The cocoon stage is the restless period, and they cannot move in the cocoon stage. But the larva stage is the voracious feeder. They can eat more and more, and they can develop to the cocoons. After the cocoons, the adult are emerges from the cocoons. The it takes time for 3 to 5 days. They do not feed. The adult stage is the do not feed. They lie for reproduction only. After copulation, male die and female die after laying eggs. So when we observe this female and male moth, the female is larger in size and male is small in size. And we can take the table form of the life cycle of silkworm. So the table formation is the 4 stages we can see in the slide: egg, larva, pupa, adult. The egg stage is taking about the 9 to 12 days, and the larval period is 20 to 24 days, and pupal period is 10 to 12 days, and adult period is 3 to 5 days. The total period about the life cycle of silkworm is 45 days. It is a short time. We can crop 3 to 4 crops in the year of sericulture. So it is the less time to taking up the bombex worry in sericulture. So nowadays the sericulture is a very scoped industry. So it is the textile industry, the queen of the textile industry other than when we compare to the other industries. So major subsector comprising the textile sector related to natural fiber, for example of silk. So silk is the irreversible part of India culture and tradition. No ritual is complete with silk being used as a wear in the form of saris and others. India is the second largest producer of silk after China. In the China, world and unique country which produce all 4 varieties of silk. Sericulture is a combination of agriculture, animal husbandry, cottage industry, and few textile activity. So, sericulture has the potential of employment generation, export oriented or and makes the follow of wealth from rich classes to poor classes. So, women empowerment also increase through this sericulture industry and features of sericulture. It is high employment potential, provides vibrance to village economics, low investment, high returns, women friendly occupation, ideal program to weaker section of the society, and is a eco friendly activity, satisfy equity concerns. So sericulture is the investment is less and yield is very high. So when we introduce the sericulture in our own in our own in our own crops, so the farmers will get the beneficiary from this. So sericulture is the second place in the world. In India, the Karnataka is the first most states to producing silk. Not only Karnataka, after that it will widely spread to produce the silk in Assam, Bengal, and also Gujarat, Telangana, and other states also. So every district has a sericulture unit, the rearing automatic reeling unit in every state and every district region. So the government also provided the 50% of subsidy in this sericulture to help to the farmers. So every youth will take the initiation to the sericulture. The India also will be going to first position in sericulture when we use the technology compared to the China. So uh, the several diseases are while we are going to introduce the sericulture. So several diseases are attacked in the sericulture industry while we are cultivate the silkworms. So there are the especially viral diseases, fungal diseases, and bacterial diseases, and protozoan diseases. The protozoan diseases are very dangerous to sericulture industry, especially the protozoan diseases as febrile and bacterial diseases nothing but flachary, viral diseases. These are the most complicated to the sericulture. From over this all the diseases, we can use the natural fertilizers and spraying the chemicals, and especially health and hygienic conditions we can use in the sericulture industry. So sanitation and diseased silkworms are isolated from healthy one, and disinfection. These are the major controls of silkworm industry. So when we use this disinfection method and health and hygienic conditions, we can overcome all the diseases from affecting in the sericulture industry. So this is my topic, a little topic. So I would like to very thankful to our secretary for giving this opportunity, and also I would like to thank all the dignitaries for giving this opportunity. Uh, thank you very much.